Today, we're going to write a short story with ChatGPT. And by the way, you can use any AI that you want with this. You can use Claude, you can use Bard, you can use Gemini, you can use Jasper AI. Really, any AI that you want is going to do this for you. I'm in ChatGPT. And by the way, I have ChatGPT 4, so that's the paid version. You can see I've already put this outline. I've created an outline with ChatGPT. I gave these instructions to please write an outline for a short story. And I even described the entire story there. So you can come up with your own story, which I think is great. You can even ask ChatGPT to come up with an idea or premise for you, which you can also do. I gave a word count. So pause this if you want to read all of that. I'm not going to go over the entire story because this is the outline that I asked ChatGPT to make. And we have a couple of scenes here, I think 10 scenes that are supposed to be interlocked. And you can see I have the story title, names of characters, everything. So without further ado, let's see what ChatGPT will create for us. So we're going to say, please now write the short story based on the outline and my instructions. I'm going to add don't summarize or end the story prematurely. I'm spelling that right. If you run out of characters or tokens, because that's a problem, ChatGPT can't write 3,000 words at once. It's going to chunk it up into about 500 to 600 word sections. So this is what I'm doing to try to sort of do a workaround for that limitation. Please stop generating content and wait for me to say. So that way, all you have to do is write go a few times and you should have a complete story. Well, ChatGPT is working on the story. I want to go up here and point out a few things. One, I first asked ChatGPT to write an outline because I wanted to make sure there was enough content to create a story as long as I wanted. I think it's important to come up with a premise or an idea first and not just say, hey, ChatGPT, write a short story. You can do that and it'll probably work to some extent, but I have found that I get better results when you start with an idea and you ask ChatGPT to flesh that out into a detailed but simple outline. You can go even more detailed on your outline if you want. And if you don't like the outline, you can regenerate it. You can ask for a longer outline or an outline with more action, add scenes, mix or match. You can change it however you want, but start with an idea, flesh it out into an outline, and then ask ChatGPT to create your short story. I said there's no summary in this story because ChatGPT has a habit of summarizing things that I think should be fully fleshed out scenes. So we'll see how that works. Every scene is written beat by beat with only short transition between scenes. So again, I'm just trying to fix that limitation that I've noticed. I say start the story in the middle of the action because I don't want it to be, boring at the beginning because I think that's a death of any kind of story or any kind of writing. I think the first job of any kind of writing, including a story, is to get attention. So start in the middle of the action, escalate the plot, have a climax. And so I wanted to give or feed Chad some information like the word count and these other elements of a story that I think are helpful to getting a better result. Okay, so let's go down here and see what we have. We probably have at least one scene, maybe two scenes. Okay, I think it stopped. So see how it didn't just end. All right. I think this is going to be way too short of a story. You can see it's already at Thanksgiving down here. So we'll just have it complete this story. And then what I'm going to do is ask ChatGPT to write a longer story to make each scene longer. And I might even say, hey, make each one of the scenes 300 to 500 words. That might also help us get a better story, get a longer story. Maybe with both of these generations, it'll be close to 1,000. I'm going to check that out with the word count. We'll check it together. I just put go, so that's not going to add too much to the word count. I think that's going to be, what is it? All right, 1,200. That's not bad for a short story. Let's see if it's any good. In the soft glow of morning sunlight filtering through the kitchen window, Jacob Carter, that's our protagonist, sat at the old wooden table, pushing around the remnants of his cereal with a spoon. Okay, not bad. The Carter family had owned this table for as long as Jacob could remember. It was a sturdy piece save for the intricate swirls and knots that danced across its surface like the rings of ancient trees. I like that beginning. And right now we get into the action. So it's a little setup, action. As Jacob glanced down, a peculiar thing happened. One of the dark swirls within the wood seemed to blink. He blinked back, startled, then rubbed his eyes, assuming the trick of light was just that, a trick. When he looked again, the swirl remained unblinking, its woody gaze fixed and unchanging. So right away, we have some action. We have the start of the conflict in the story. So that's good. I like that. By the way, this is actually based on I think it's called a micro fiction story that was a less than 300 words, less than a page that I wrote when I was in middle school or high school. I actually had a breakfast table that was small and had these little dark swirls and knots. And I always thought that some of them looked like an eye. And that's how I got the idea for this story. That's the backstory. Then we have some dialogue. And then let's see, moving into another scene. Okay, bring it up again to the following day. That's a very fast transition. I like that. More swirls seem to take on the appearance of eyes, blinking in unison whenever he found himself alone with the table. Okay, that's seemingly this is a very fast. That's a little that summary that I said. I think that should probably be another full scene instead of just so summarized there. This dialogue is okay. That's fine. Let's do a little bit more. I do like this. Again, this transition's very fast. I like that. And then we get to the whispers that I mentioned to ChatGPT earlier in the instructions. But again, this section right here is one of the scenes and it's very short. So I would say that would need to be expanded. Each one of these scenes, I think, need to be expanded to make it more of a fully fledged story. What I want to do is down here at the bottom, since we have all this information, I want to say, great job. However, I would like the story, would like each scene in the story to be longer and more fully fleshed out. Each scene well, let's do that, should be roughly, let's say 300 to 500 words long. I'm going to add, please make each scene a gripping beginning, middle, and end. Don't include any fluff. I think that's important. We don't want just words just for words. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, so we're going to expand the first scene. It's actually going to break it down to beginning, middle, and end, which is kind of what I wanted, but that's fine. You just take that off when you want to like publish this or edit it later. All right, so we have this scene. We're going to go here and let's see how long this is. We're going to word count that. So that scene right there is 18 words. We're definitely going to have a long enough story too. If your scenes aren't long enough, just expand them in that way, scene by scene. We'll say go. I think it's going to do the second scene. Good. That's exactly what it's doing. I'm not going to take you through all this. This is how you would write a short story that is interlocked, that is one continuous story based on your outline, based on your idea or premise using ChatGPT or any other AI that you wanted to use. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions that I didn't cover in this video. I'll be happy to make another video to try to answer some of those or just answer them in the comments. There's another video going to come up right now on your screen. Check that one out. And I think you'll really like it. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.